Hi there, and welcome back to Sound Design for Beginners. I'm Robert Dudzic, and I'm the guy who will be teaching you and share with you all my knowledge, what I learned over the years, about sound design. From the beginning, from the gear what I'm using, to all post-production, all the magic, what's happening right here at my studio, and to the point when I'm delivering. So today, we will be talking about my digital audio workstation. It's my DAW. This is my desk, my studio, when everything is happened to the sounds when I'm done, when finished recording, either in my studio or on the location. Because, when you have your recorder, like I have right here, when you finish recording, you have this little SD card, and now it's the part when you have to edit this file and, clean if it's necessary, and do all this post-production, whatever have to be done. And to order to do this thing, you will need some kind of computer. Like I personally working right now on the Mac Pro, and it's been with me for last, I think so, 15 years. I've been working in Mac. And now lately, I just add to my studio the little Mac Mini M4, and I'm completely blown away. And it's not expensive. So guys, if you're in the market to get some computer, I would strongly recommend you even go check this little Mac Mini, because they're just incredible and they have way more power than the big beast Mac Pro. So that's my computer, what I'm using. But if you work on the PC, it's fine. If you're in the video game and your computer is very powerful to handling very heavy video games, trust me, you will have more power than you ever gonna need. So as I say, you will need some kind of computer to run your digital audio workstation, your software, when you're going to edit. And to do this thing, I'm using basically Cubase. And Cubase is made by company Steinberg in Germany. And everything pretty much what you always hear in my sound design is either done in Cubase or it's done in Nuendo. And Nuendo is like a next level most post-production software produced by Steinberg. Why I'm using Cubase? You know what? It's like I started using Cubase years ago, and pretty much I learned very well, feel very comfortable. And later I realized that most of my clients, or a lot of big name composers, they're all working in Cubase. So it's me, I become very compatible with them. So that's why I stick with Cubase. Besides everything, what I need, it's inside, but we will go over and I will show you all about them. So this is Cubase, and I will show you in a moment. Another important thing, what I would recommend you to get, is to get some kind audio interface. I know much of the computer right now have the built into sound card, and it's okay, you know what I mean? But I've been using, I have the big one, the big Steinberg, very big, powerful interface right there, like you see right now in the picture. But I'm using also as my backup the UR22C. It's a little tiny interface from Steinberg. It's not expensive, and everything what I show you in my videos, I don't want you guys to spend you so much money. So this is really for the beginners. This is more than you ever probably gonna need in the power. And it's record at 192 kilohertz. You can process files and 32-bit flat. And all you need is just one USB cable and the C plug to your computer, and you're ready to go. And you have 2 in, 2 out, and headphones, and it just sounds beautiful. So this little box, I think so, it's like $130 or $140. It's not expensive, and it's really powerful. And as you see in the picture, I have 2 of them as a backup, because not too long time ago it just happened. Then my big interface somehow fuse just blow, and I was out of the big interface for a couple of weeks, and all my work have to be done. And Steinberg just sent me the little one, and it just worked fantastic, and no one ever heard the difference. My work was done actually on this little interface. So if you're in the market and the interface, definitely check them. Link is below. So when you have interface, that's another thing. Now you will need some studio monitors, some speakers when you're going to listen to the sound. Now, what's very important about these monitors, you're going to have to start learning them. You can't just get any speakers from the store, plug them in, and starting playing and listening music. Okay, sounds great, that's fantastic. because you're gonna have to start training your ear. It means that the way of the sounds what you want to record, you should start to listen a lot of similar sounds or music, especially soundtracks or like big movies, or even watch movie and the computer screen and just listen the sounds coming from the speakers, because you need to start train your ears, because what you're gonna hear from the speaker, your brain's gonna memorize the sound vibe, and when you're gonna recording your sounds by placing your microphone, remember how I say you place your microphone like a lens, focus on the one sound, you will be able to find the sweet spot, what's gonna matching your ear memory with the stuff what you hear in the studio, and it's just gonna help you achieve this big cinematic sounds with the big weight of the low end and everything. Because if you're not gonna train your ear, it sounds just gonna sound okay, it sounds good, but you're gonna get lucky or not. But when you train your ear, it will help you nail down each time you're gonna recording something or producing sound. It's just gonna work. So definitely spend some time, I would say every day, you know. The more you're gonna listen, the more you're gonna start listen you soundtracks or watching movies with the sound on the speakers, the better you're gonna become with your ears, with your trained ear. And trust me, it will help you in the long run. I've been doing this for years. I pretty much anything what I do record, it sounds cinematic. Why? Because I train my ear, and I strongly recommend you. So besides studio monitors, I'm using right now BAREFOOT 1, the Footprint 1, but you can use pretty much anything. As long as you're gonna spend time, learn them, you can do great sounds and so many other monitors. Now, another thing, sometimes I'm mixing in the headphones in studio and I'm using the OLLO audio headphones. That's just very comfortable, the closed monitors, and they're very true, and they have nice warm low end, and I know them very well too, because I listen a lot of music and sometimes watching movies just in them. So part of the train your ear with the sound what I hear is translate after to what I hear from my speakers or whatever I record. So we cover the basics thing. Now let me tell you something about the digital audio workstation, where you will be importing your audio file and edit. As you see, like I have like right here some files already. And this is come from recording session and the junkyard. So when you have these files, you know, you will have to edit them. It means you're gonna have to get your tools and pretty much go and slice them, or you're gonna have to fade in, fade out, whatever you're gonna need. We're gonna cover this in the next video. But what's important, think about your digital workstation will be you almost like a kitchen table. You're gonna learning almost cooking. It means you're gonna learning working with the sound. Think about your sounds, what you're gonna record, there will be your ingredients. And all the plugins like EQ, compression, reverb, noise gauge, you know, flanger, you name it, stutter effects, pitch shifter, anything. Think about there are your spices. So now you know when you're cooking, when you add too much salt, the meal is not going to be good because it's going to be too salty. If you got too much pepper, some people are going to say it's too spicy. It means the more you're going to work in your workstation, and the more you're going to work with the files, and the more you're going to learn applying your all effects, you eventually will find the right taste. Then no matter how much you're going to add effects and the way what you're going to do, it's just going to sound good. Why? Because you're going to train your ears and you know what is the right amount of all the effects what you have to add. And another question, sometimes do you really need add the effects? It's a big question, because so many people always going crazy for adding plugins, and they want to add plugins, and you have to remember, each time you're going to add the plugin will be take away from the originality of the sound, adding the additional EQ, additional compression, change the original waveform, and then preserve the authenticity of the sounds when you record. And in the end, the sound could be, sounds good to you and you like it, but it's not gonna sound realistic, authentic. And that's the whole key, what I'm gonna try to teach you. and we're going to talk this about a lot to find the right balance. How much use EQ? Do you need to actually use EQ? How much you need to use compression? Thinking in your mind, if I'm gonna add compression and I'm gonna add EQ, when I'm gonna deliver my sounds to the composer or sound editors or trailer house or video game developers, these guys will be adding the additional EQ and additional compression. It means my sound, they will be already processed. They're gonna adding more stuff, and the sounds gonna starting get overproduced. They're gonna go away from the authenticity of the sound, and eventually they're gonna get squeezed, and then they're gonna be loud, punchy, and they're gonna sound weak actually. So we're gonna talk about this too in the future videos about the right balance. But all of these things, what I talk about today, it will happen inside Cubase, and I will show you everything going step by step, just to show you as a preview how powerful this software is. Look, if you go right here, and if you can go right now to your insert, when it's your mixer, you pretty much find every plugin, whatever I need. But if you just go to the Steinberg factory plugins, they have everything pretty much what you want. They have pitch shift, they have any kind of reverbs, EQs, dynamic compressions. It's pretty much everything. And my focus in the beginning will be to teach you and understanding all how these plugins work, because what's the point go spending money on some fancy plugins? What's gonna promise you to doing so many great sounding if you're just not gonna understand this? You're pretty much gonna pay for the fancy interface of something which is gonna kind of distort your file instead of helping you. So we're gonna learn in the basic, then I'm gonna introduce you to tools when we're gonna clean the files and how we stack the files. So guys, it's a lot of great stuff to come, but they will be coming in the videos to come. So that's all I have today for you. If you have any questions, again, please leave them in the comments. And how I say, at the end of the video, I will pick up 2 random questions and I will be answering them directly to you, because I really believe after the last video, the comment section has just become insane, and I really enjoy reading them and answer them to you, try to give you the most constructive and most informative feedback. But I really believe there are some questions where I'll be able just to basically answer them directly to the camera too, and you can hear them from me, and probably just gonna help you understand, and more people actually is gonna hear this. So here we go. The last thing is 2 questions what I pick up from the last 2 video, and you can find them in the comments. So the first question come from Kirknelly. I don't know if I pronounced wrong, or I'm sorry. I don't mean to. It's English is not my first language, as you know right now. So the comment was a great video. I have all Tascam DR40 that I think I will want to upgrade to the newer models soon. Maybe something then can do 192 kilohertz. But my question is about mono versus stereo recording for the sound design. I hear the recommendation for starting with mono unless you want to capture the ambience of the space you are recording. How do you feel about stereo versus mono recording for sound design? So that's the thing. If you record in mono, if you want to up converting and convert this to stereo, you can do using special effects, but it's gonna sound a little weird, strange. It's not gonna be true stereo. It's always gonna be sounds unofficial by switching the frequency, shifting, moving in the channels. If you can record something in stereo, you can always downgrade to mono. It's basically just take the stereo channel and just insert this in the mono channel, and you're gonna have mono. The same thing. But there's another trick what I use a lot of times. When I record something in stereo, I usually double this in the mono channel and I put under the track. So what I do after, I can even do even bigger stereo on the stereo channel, so that makes sound wider, and I can focus and more maybe processing on the center channel, maybe give more low end or change a little bit character and make it even a little bit louder, and bring the 2 stereo microphones, bring them a little bit down. It means my main signal will be straight more in your face, but the stereo channel just give me in the back just a little white ambience. And you can use them as a full sound. Basically, I think like the sound is just going to become more full and rich instead of just be mono. You can always do mono, so it's easy. That's my position. I always going to record in stereo, but most of the times you see me in my videos, I usually use 3 microphones positions. Why? Because one is recording mono and the 2 recording in stereo. Then I'm using auto align mics, so everything is working perfect. Well, we're going to show you this in the future videos, so you will know. But that's my answer to this question. Now, the next question is from the A Cuddings. I think I pronounce right. If I butcher, I'm sorry. I don't mean to. I try. Thank you for the great video. I have a question. I believe one of the major differences between professional quality recording, a sterilized source, and amateur sources is the natural richness of the mined low frequencies resulting from the clarity of the high frequency. I would like to know to be basic guidance, for maintaining this quality, preferably including the mix process. So the whole thing is starting with training your ears, because when you train your ears, what I just talked before, you will know, how I said before, where you're going to place your recorder and when you're going to find the sweet spot. You remember, if that's the pen, it's going to be right here. Sometimes you're going to have to move maybe a little to the side, up, just wiggle a little bit till you're going to hear this full rich sound. And I give you guarantee, you will find. I know I show like as a basic example right now, but it's all about finding the sweet spot. The second thing, the microphones today, what they come in this home, the handheld recorders or any mics, they pretty much record 20 to 20,000 kilo, and it just sounds incredible. So you are able to pretty much capture the all full sound spectrum, and you probably have this sound inside. You just don't know how to get this sound, and I will show you how to getting this stuff, because sometimes you just have to clean this thing, or maybe sometimes like I use, just using geophone or using extra pickup, when basically you just getting this little low end frequency and you just stuck this in the additional track, and this low end what's come from the recording or adding sub bass plugin, it's just basically adding this big heavy weight to the sound and make this sound richer. The high end, it's pretty much, that's very easy. I usually cutting the high end because sometimes the sound is, for me, just become like a little bit too hard, too harshness, and I just have to take a little bit down, not adding. So I prefer actually take it down instead adding EQ. And same thing with the low end, because usually my sounds are very beefy. It's because I'm using multiple position microphones like geophone attaching from low audio, or I'm using the leaf audio. I'm using like my pickups, and basically I'm just using the resonance of the wood or metal and just adding this low end. So that's the way how you can get this sound. You can, yes, you can do with regular stereo microphones with hand recorder. I have a lot of luck and I did great stuff with this thing. But if you really want to go like nuts and get like this very high end pro sounds, you will have to step up and get yourself like multi microphone recorder, like at least 4 tracks. And this would be what I use, like 4 or 5 microphone max, and you can get this sound. And I will show you by mixing just the position microphones without using any plugins. You will see this in the future videos. You will be able to achieve this big fat beefy sound what I'm getting. So guys, thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to sit and film for your next video. And remember, leave your comment below. I will try to do my best answer them. So until then, go train your ears, go record sound, because next week we're gonna open my workstation. We're gonna bring the files and we're gonna start playing with them. And if you have any of the recordings already, I'm gonna have a homework for you. So guys, link to the old stuff what I show you is below. And thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.